Well, welcome everyone to Betting Weekly Live. You're with Steve Wyss and I'm with RJ, or his full name to be precise, Ryan Guertin. How you doing, Ryan, my man? I hope you had a great Christmas.
Steve, I did. Great to be back with you. What a treat this is, right? We had Christmas Eve, no, New Year's Eve. Yeah, been good. Obviously, Christmas Day, we had some football, some blowouts, right? Didn't go our way, but hopeful for a turnaround this week. And yeah, I got some decent action for New Year's Eve compared to Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Eve was bleak. Probably one of the bleakest days in terms of sporting events I think we've seen in quite some time. So, yeah, ready to get after it and close out the year with you, buddy. How's everything going with you?
Yeah, it's going all right, thank you. Solid sort of Christmas period. I mean, I don't think New Year's Eve is much better than Christmas Eve in terms of the. I was even looking at what if we had any 2025 specials with Bet Rivers that you can bet on some specials throughout the year, but there's not too much of that. So we do have an A-League play from Australia coming up from RJ, and I'm also going to give you a couple of plays for New Year's Day's English Championship card. I've had a good look at that. Jack Wright gave us some yesterday as well. And we've got a basketball play we're going to come to straight off the bat, actually, very, very soon. But welcoming everyone. Rick Haley, Paul Laguna, Ming Chung, great to see you there. Boy Street plus 12.5. He likes it. Paul Laguna with a question mark there. Duncan Evans, good to see you. I want to say, thank everyone who's been in these live shows since we started doing them in August. It was. We've had a great reaction. We've been very consistent doing it day in, day out. And I want to thank all the guests as well that have come on, done a great job. But it's not made possible without you guys who are watching and putting the comments in. And we've got a great bunch of people who contribute here. I've always said it. Look at the chat. There's some really clever bettors out there who know their stuff. Let's have a look at some more comments there. Trailer, good to see you as well. Jack Wright as well. Jack Wright, I hope you're having a great day there, Jack, and going to see you in the new year. There is no Premier League tomorrow, Duncan. Now, I'm not sure why that is in terms of the schedule. It kind of changes year in, year out, really. The Premier League card's back at the weekend, and then we go to FA Cup. Sometimes the FA Cup round has been the first Saturday in January in the past. So, yeah, it changes, really. Lee Robinson, great to see you as well. Hope you're doing really well. Let's go on to this basketball play then. For you, RJ. You had a good look at the card. We've got a match here at 9 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers, LA Lakers in the NBA. Now, I can tell you now, the LA Lakers are plus 4.5 dogs in this game. They are plus 145 on the money line. But it's the points total that you're looking at. At the moment, we've got over and under 228 points. Which direction are you going on the points for this match, RJ?
Yeah. First off, like you said, Steve, Happy New Year's. Appreciate everyone in the chat and that tune in on our show. So looking at this match tonight, Lakers versus the Cavaliers. Lakers are pretty. They're coming off a match last night against the Golden State Warriors. Cavaliers are pretty well rested. Taking a quick look, this will be played in LA. Lakers are 15-10, 8-3 at home. Cavaliers are 14-11, 6-6 on the road. But looking at from a player perspective, you got LeBron James on the Lakers, right? He's averaging about 26 points per game, 8 rebounds and 7 assists. You also have Anthony Davis, who's very dominant in the paint and from a rebounding perspective, averages around 12 rebounds per game. The Lakers have scored 115 plus points in their last 5 home games. They thrive on fast break opportunities. They take high percentage shots. Overall, they're a pretty good team. You got on the Cavaliers side, Steve, you got Donovan Mitchell, right? He's explosive. He averages around 30 points per game. Darius Garland, his playmaking ability, his playmaking ability around 8 assists per game. The over is hit in 3 out of their last 5 matchups, which whatever the case may be, if you want to look at trends. But I support the over 228 points here. Both teams have surpassed 230 points in 4 out of their last 6 games. The Lakers have the 7th fastest pace in the league. They have higher possession counts. That's essentially what that means. And Cleveland's offensive output has surged a bit. They're averaging around 118 points per game over their last four games. The Cavaliers may miss Jarrett Allen, who's a pretty big defensive key point for them. And then, basically, I think you're just looking at a high octane match, right? Back and forth, a lot of transitions. And I think we're looking at a very good opportunity here at over 228. The line opened, I think, at around 228. It dipped to 230. Now it's back to 228. I looked at like overnight, early money was coming in towards the over. It was driving it down, right? It drove it from 228 to 230. That's a good sign. So I'm looking at like a 240, 242 points for total in this game. So I like over 228 in the Cavaliers versus the Lakers tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
That is the New Year's Eve bet to bring your new year into a winning start. LA Lakers, Cleveland Cavaliers, over 228 points. I like that analogy, end to end, high octane. And, you're thinking it could be on the lines of, potentially 240 plus points here. Let's hope we comfortably cover this over in the NBA.
Yep.
That's the pick today, Coach Zanko. Good to see you as well from Slovenia. Hope you've had a good Christmas. And yes, Brentford versus Arsenal. We're going to cover that game tomorrow. Me and RJ are back on the show tomorrow on New Year's Day. We will have Brentford Arsenal covered for you in detail in a bit of a random game in terms of the scheduling for that. DM Punk, great to see you as well. And I hope you've had a great year and looking forward to 2025. Anyone got any New Year's resolutions? I'm not really into that sort of thing, but I used to sort of have this. Have you got any resolutions, RJ, or are you just sort of going with the flow?
I'm going with the flow, Steve. I haven't really thought about it too much. Yeah,
It's a big year for you coming up. Big year for you coming up, hasn't it? House change and little pitter patter of feet and all that.
Pitter patter, house change. I guess my New Year's resolution, Steve, is to spend less money. Right, with all the incoming changes in my life. Right, my days of buying home audio equipment or whatever my hobbies are, might have to trim that down a little bit. But right, all for the little one, all for the family. So spend a little less money. Right, save a little bit more
money. Win more money and spend less. That's not a bad
name of the game, right? And I see Paul ask what happened to the mouse. That mouse never made it. I did find it a couple days ago, and he's gone. So rest in peace to that little Christmas Eve mouse there.
I was at my local hardware store yesterday, and I saw a shelf full of vermin exterminating things, rat traps and mouse traps.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of you, RJ, when I saw that. I'm like, I wonder if RJ managed to sort his mouse problem out. Lee Robinson's resolutions to stop taking opposing Atalanta. They've cost me a fortune. And did or didn't get you a Christmas card from you. Didn't get a Christmas card from you. I mean, they had a great run. Maybe Lee was against them in the match against Lazio, which they drew, although I think it was pretty much a pick'em game with the odds anyway. So unless he was on the actual tie, then I mean, they have been probably better than some people expected. Atalanta. I mean, again, betting resolutions. Sometimes we'll look back at the profit and loss for the season. Depends what sport you're in. If you're doing a soccer season or American football, tennis, whatever. But some people do look at their overall profit loss for 2024. On this day and sort of have strategies for 2025, what they're going to do differently in betting in 2025. For me, if I was to have not a resolution, but a target is I'm moving away a little bit from certain underlying metrics, which I got into more than I expected I would. I've always been more of an eye test man, that sort of thing, rather than these underlying metrics, which I think sometimes can sway you a little bit too much. So I've been gradually moving away from that. Got to use them. Don't get me wrong. Use them in the right way. But I think you can have an over-reliance on them if you're not careful. And I think there was a period maybe 5-6 months ago where I was just getting in too deep with them. So that would be, for me, a target.
Yeah, to add to that, Steve, I've made some changes too a little bit, right? Because I found myself spending hours, right, researching stats, right, for especially Saturdays, right, when the card is so big, you spend a lot of time researching. Now I have like a model and a system that I use to sort of like narrow down. All right, well, I'm not going to browse through 1,200 plays, right? I want to narrow down to specific leagues. But really, a lot of it is too is trying to identify early opportunities, right? Like getting an edge, right? It's all about getting an edge on some of these lines. So that's my focus, is to work on a system where I can almost have like a set and forget. I have something, a filter or alert of some kind to identify, all right, where's that good opportunity early in advance, and then just kind of make the bets as I see fit once I follow line movement and see where the money's going. But that's something I'm trying to do, is spend less time researching, if you will, and use like tools to help aid minimize that time, but arrive quicker at better betting opportunities, right? I mean, so there's always a way.
That's why I kind of stopped betting on domestic cups for really nowadays, because it used to take me just too long to research the cups.
Way too long.
Like
Yeah.
French Cup, Coupe de France, for example. And they used to have the League Cup as well in France. They stopped doing that now, thankfully. But I just took way too long trying to predict the lineups, working out who's going to play, this and that, where the motivation is. And in the end, I wasn't getting the results out of it that I wanted, and I was wasting time. So that's why, some people asked me, I had a couple of questions about the last Coupe de France round before Christmas. I didn't have time. I just didn't have time to look into the round, simple as that. And I don't really target domestic cups that often now, unless it's a favourable situation for me. Yes, I am going to be probably leaving field tilt to you, Jack, in 2025. You're the man for that. Coach Zanko says he's working mainly on the iron playing teams he knows, nothing else. Head just spins if he does too much. Absolutely. That's keep it simple. 100%. And Isaac, it was a great one from Nigel on the Premier League show. I couldn't believe he was plus money to score or assist, to be honest. Anyone backing him was cashing after 5 minutes, and probably disappointed that he didn't go on to get a second goal, because I knew quite a few people were on him to score 2 or more, or even the hat-trick yesterday, but he didn't quite kick on for that. Let's get on to an actual soccer bet. This is Auckland. This is the A-League. This is the first time I think we've ever had an A-League pick on the show. I don't think me and you did a show one of the summer or so ago, RJ, and I don't think even me and you had anything that year. But this is 11 p.m. Eastern, Auckland FC against Melbourne Victory. We're going to New Zealand here. I think they're a new team for this year, Auckland FC, but they're doing very, very well in the A-League. They're top of the A-League in the Australian / New Zealand League, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. 7 out of 9 wins, and it's not really, but they're plus money here, significantly plus money, plus 130. You're going to keep riding this hot train, right?
Yeah, I am, Steve. There's really no reason not to. As I stated, I saw an opportunity early this morning. I looked at where kind of the money was going. I looked at the line trend, and I looked at the form of this team, right? They're first place in the A-League. 16 goals for, 8 against. Melbourne Victory are in third place. However, they don't produce many goals. They've only scored 13 goals in their 9 matches. And I see them struggling a little bit on the road in New Zealand at Go Media Stadium, where Auckland resides, right? Auckland have won 3 out of their last 5. They drew against Melbourne City, who's a side who's typically prolific in the A-League. And then, basically they're now back at home New Year's Day to give their fans a good show, right? So they have a lot of key players, right? They have Jake Brimmer, who actually was on Melbourne Victory over the last couple seasons, and both these teams are relatively healthy. I think the reason why I like this is simply because of the strong home record, and again, where the line has been moving to. So I'm on Auckland FC minus 0.25 on the Asian handicapping line. So if they were to draw, half the stake would be returned, half the stake would lose. So essentially, we want them to win by a goal. But they're very strong at home, and I think just based on the fact that their attacking prowess, their slight edge, just the bookmakers are giving them is something I'm going to bite on here. And Yeah, bottom line is, Steve, I
Mm.
like Auckland minus 0.25, minus 103 on Bet Rivers right now.
I actually, when I knew you were going to cover this game, I had to have a look at the other fixture. Western Sydney Wanderers against MacArthur FC. Now, I don't follow this league at all. I've occasionally watched it, and I do know people who used to bet the goals overs in this league and cashed quite a lot. But I looked at the form of these two teams and their head-to-heads, and there's a strong case for goals. Western Sydney Wanderers against MacArthur FC. This would be a lean. Now, I can't give an official play in the A-League because I don't follow the league, but over 3.25 based on the stats, based on the head-to-heads, looks decent. I mean, this Western Sydney Wanderers team look a good one for the neutral. The matches are full of goals. Crazy stuff, really. So I would be looking in the direction of goals for those who are interested in that game. This is a 7 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Eastern. So if you are up late, well, seeing in the new year, and then fancy watching an A-League game and betting on an A-League game, then that over 3.25 in the Western Sydney Wanderers game might be worth looking at. But Auckland FC minus a quarter of a goal. That is RJ's official play from the A-League on New Year's Eve in the US, New Year's Day in New Zealand. I mean, they're celebrating New Year. Yeah, go on.
That's a late start, no? 3 a.m. in Australia is what? Because I think the Auckland game is 7:30 p.m. local time. That's 11 p.m. Eastern. So is that like a 10 p.m. kickoff?
Western Sydney. So it's 2 a.m. Eastern time. Hold on a minute. This might be. I don't know. What time is it right now in Australia and New Zealand? We need a world clock
time
behind
in
us
Australia is 3 a.m. So 5 hours ahead. Okay. I mean, not 5 hours. A day and 5 hours.
We will get the timings of this match before we go.
Yeah.
But that does seem a little bit strange. I'm just going to work out what time it is my time. I'll do it before the end of the show. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow on New Year's Day. And when we come on, we're going to be right bang in the middle of the English card. We've got Championship League 1, League 2. With some of the matches will have been completed. But we'll be on at half-time in certainly this Championship card here. We heard from Jack Wright yesterday. He gave us a play in the Championship and League 1 and League 2. I am now going to give 2 plays in the Championship for New Year's Day. And I am sticking with teams that I follow quite a lot. My own side, Leeds United against Blackburn Rovers. Now, a lot of people might think Leeds are an absolute banker to win this game, minus 335. But I can tell you now, the Blackburn manager, John Eustace, has Leeds' number. He has beaten Leeds 1-0 in all of the last 3 matches he's faced against Leeds. And this is a concern because Daniel Farker, the Leeds manager, doesn't seem to know how to play against Eustace's set-up sides. He's going to come here and basically park the bus. This was the match last season which cost Leeds automatic promotion, really, in my opinion. It really didn't. They lost 1-0 in a match they should have won the day after Leicester dropped points. And Blackburn are going to come here, very similar to the reverse fixture, which Blackburn won 1-0. Park the bus, keep it really tight. Leeds, hopefully this time, have learned a lesson. Have got a bit of quality to maybe break them down. But for me, under 2.5 goals. Leeds Blackburn, under 2.5 goals. 12 of the last 14 Blackburn games have gone under 2.5. I mean, that just shows you what sort of side they are. They're very hardworking. They're very, very organised. Leeds have the best defence in the league. Statistically and in terms of performances. I think it's a 0-0 slight danger for Leeds if they can't break down. Hopefully, I'm hoping my team deliver 1-0, but you can't ignore this matchup. It's just something that Daniel Farkas had a big problem with.
It's pretty obvious too, I think, Steve, too, because Blackburn, 3 of Blackburn's away matches, 1-0, right? 1 goal on the road. So goals look bleak in that match for sure.
Yeah, Leeds are a class above most of the sides, but Eustace won't come here believing they're just going to roll over and have their tummies tickled. He didn't last year, and I don't believe he will this year. But under 2.5 goals at minus 106 looks good to me.
Yeah,
it does stink of a 1-0 either way, Jack. I think this is if Leeds can deliver a win here, I think they really are going to romp the league. Actually, end up 10 points clear or something, because this is the sort of game Leeds have struggled in the last couple of years. But if they can deliver a performance and a result here, then let's see. There's one of the matches I want to talk about, and it's Luton Town against Norwich. Jack Wright's on here, so I'll be interested to see what he thinks of his own side. But I think over 2.5 goals at -118 here is worth a go. The two teams met quite recently. It ended a 4-2 win for Norwich that day. And Norwich City, 7 of their last 9 games have gone over 2.5. They don't travel well. I don't think they've won in any of the last 8 on the road. But they've got a goal threat in them, Norwich City. 3rd highest scoring team in the Championship. They've got individual players who can score goals. And Luton Town need a win. They cannot. They are so bad away from home, Luton Town. They've got to get the win. So I think they will be up for this. And they can't accept a draw. I mean, Luton themselves can't defend either, by the way. They struggle for clean sheets quite a lot. I don't know which way the game's going to go. Maybe 2-1 Luton win, 2-2 draw could be on the cards. But -118, I thought this goal line would be minimum 2.75. But those are the two players I'm looking at the Championship at this point in time. Leeds, Blackburn under 2.5. Luton, Norwich over 2.5. We know. Check out Jack's plays yesterday as well on the show. It's all time stamped. Burnley Stoke was his pick. Burnley win to 0 is his Championship pick. He's also got a League One pick and a League Two pick there. But we'll be live tomorrow at halftime, and we may well have. Well, I'll be following the first half, and we may well have some immediate in-play bets for you guys who join us at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow on the show. League One and League Two action as well. Put in, if you've got any best bets for tomorrow, put them in the chat. And I think that, and we also, of course, Brentford Arsenal, will be discussing that in detail as well tomorrow. Jack says anyone that can play cards in that game, it looks a great option. Gillet the ref. Both aren't shy of a card and like it when a Premier League referee drops down. Show his authority. Yeah, he might just think he's the big dog here. I'm the Premier League ref, and that's a good point. If you can get on the cards in that game, but that pretty much wraps it up for this edition of Betting Weekly Live. A shorter show today, not too much on. Like I say, RJ, it's been a great year so far for the live shows, which we started in August. And thanks for everyone's support.
Likewise, yeah, it's been great. It is a light card today again, similar to Christmas Eve. But yeah, we have a few bets for you, and hopefully we cash these. And tomorrow, I'll take a good look, Steve, too, overnight and in the AM at the Championship, and let's see if I can get any good plays cooked up for the viewers here. But there's a lot, 12 matches in the Championship tomorrow. So looking forward to that. At least there's something to appease us on this New Year's Day.
Yeah, there's some later kickoffs as well, which we can sort of focus on and get our teeth stuck into. But just a reminder, your bet today in the basketball NBA, LA Lakers, Cleveland Cavaliers, over 228 points. And then in the Australian A-League, Auckland FC, minus a quarter of a goal against Melbourne Victory. And I did say, just keep an eye on the goals in the Western Sydney Wanderers game against MacArthur FC. A leaner over 3.25 for me. But Ian Messina, Happy New Year to you. Have a great 2025. Rocco Silva, been great to have you on the support. Anthony Curtis says, be wary of the ref, Gillet. Is it Gillett or Gillet? I think
we'll go with Gillet. Yeah.
Saw him Derby, West Brom Boxing Day. He let everything go. Maybe he felt like having the day off. Maybe that's a good sign. Referees, sometimes referees kind of don't want. Referees sometimes must go into a game and think, I just want an easy game. I don't want to give any cards out. I want to get back home. No controversies. But some days they might honestly feel like being nitpicking. We are
Depends
humans,
on the mood. We're human, right?
It's
human nature for sure.
But yeah, Norwich top 5 for yellows. Jack knows his own team very well. Indeed. So, but yeah, he's an. Oh yeah, that's the guy, isn't it? Gillett.
No silent T's.
I know who you mean now. He's the Aussie ref, isn't he? Yeah, I always get mixed up with some of the Premier League referees. But yeah, I hope you have a great. If you're not already, I mean, there'll be people watching now who may already have celebrated the turn of the new year, wherever you are in the world. Out there in the Asia sort of region, Aussie land. Happy New Year to you. Enjoy yourselves this evening if you're seeing in 2025. And thanks so much for everyone's support on the live shows, all on the other shows. On behalf of all the team here at Because We Win, wishing you a very happy and safe New Year's Eve. I'll be back tomorrow with RJ, 11 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to go through the card. We're going to get some in-play bets. But yeah, see you next year, RJ.
See you next year, buddy. And thanks, everyone. Happy New Year. Be safe.
Take care, y'all. See you tomorrow.